Hello everyone, this is Aram here, and today we are going to create this construction company website. I have created it by using Bootstrap, and I hope that you guys will like this. Let's overview this project and then we will start it. So I have a top nav here, then a navigation bar, a proper main navigation bar with a search form, and then there is a title and a subtitle buttons with some skew effect, and then I have created an about us section with 3 different items or information. Then there is a projects section, and there it has some sort of card. When I hover over it, the detail is appeared, and you guys can see, and it is completely responsive. Here is the services section, and then it's a testimonial, and I have used a Bootstrap carousel here, and then at the end we have a contact us form. So let me show you that it's a responsive website. You guys can see that the navigation bar, the toggler button, and when I click over it, I'm sorry, there is some problem in my browser, but we will fix it. And right now I don't want to put myself in fixing my browser, so you can see that it is responsive and everything is working nicely. So the card, when I hover or click over the button, I can see the detailed information here, and when I click again, it removed from there and shift to the other one. And here is the services section. So you guys can see that it is responsive to all breakpoints actually. And let me click over this toggle button, so you can see that everything is, the menu is looking nice. And let me close it. It is there, but there is some problem in my browser. I need to fix it. Later, after this project, we will fix this issue. You guys will not have this problem. Okay, let's move on to the editor and start working on this project. I'm using VS Code editor. Whatever you have, you can go with that. And I've already created a folder. Inside a folder, I'm going to use make a file of index.html, and then I want to have another file. This would be main.css, and I mistook here in the name of index.html, not semicolon. Okay, and I have already have an images folder, and within this images folder I have the images, the images I've used in my project. And I have another project for the next time also, which is this e-commerce website. If you guys are interested to learn this one also, then don't forget to subscribe the channel. You can see it has a carousel, and it has a nice button with some bouncing effect. And let me give you the overview of this project also. And here is when I hover over the image, there is a nice little bit of zoom effect and a nice shade here below the card. And then I used this, you can see the nice animation here of company info, then a bestseller product, and you can see there is a nice image effect, some text overlay, and it has a contact form plus a nice footer. If you guys really interested to know this one, don't forget to subscribe the channel. So today we are not working on this one, but we are going to work on this construction web page. So let's move back to the editor. Marketing is finished now, so let's start working here. as I've told you that I'm using Bootstrap, so for that I'm going to go to this getbootstrap.com site, and I'm going to click on this get started button. Here I'm going to get the starter template. I'm going to copy this. Let me paste it here in my code editor. Here in the title, let me say title, and here it should be construction 2, okay, or 1, because I have already created the one here. This one, okay, so you guys can see this is construction and this would be construction 1. Let me remove this heading 1 from here. And first of all, here within this head section, I would like to link my style sheet. So my style sheet is link related to style sheet, and let me mention the link, which would be main.css. And here within this head section, let me have some space. I'm going to use font awesome icons for all the icons I have used here, like this and like these. Okay, so let's go back and get these icons from font awesome icon. And I've already mentioned if you are following me, but if you didn't, let me tell you that you have to enter your email address here in this part, and then they will send you the kit code in your email. They will send you the process, then follow that process and get the kit code from the site. I've already got mine, so I'm just going to close it, and mine is here. I have already saved it in a text file, and which I'm going to just copying and pasting. The images I have used in my page here, this hero image and these projects image and the service image, almost everything, not these one, but other images I have got from pexels.com. It's a free site. It's not a free site actually. It's a free site, but you can get the royalty free pictures from this site. Okay, so I would like to give all the credits of the images to the photographers of this site. Thank you pexels.com and the photographers. And then let me close this one also, and let me get the font, Google Fonts also. I am going to use this Josephine Sans, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this one. So Josephine Sans, and my system is a little bit slow, and here I don't want to use the download, but let me go to the classic site. And here I want to select this font. Then from here I want to change, I have this regular 400 and I want to use the bold 700. And now I'm going to get this copy of the code, and let me save it within the head section of my main page. Let's save it. Let it be there. Later we are going to use this one also. And now let's get started. Let's start coding for this. I think let me check my checklist, that what are the things I have used. I have used the Bootstrap starter template, then I've linked the style sheet, font awesome is done, and the font family is also done. Now let me bring it here, and first of all I need some room. Okay, let's save this by using my live server. Okay, so you guys can see that there is in the title it's a construction-1, but the one I've already made is this one, construction. It's this one, construction, and this is the construction-1. So we are going to work on this project. Okay, so let's get started. And here in the construction.1, within the body section, let me create a div, and I would like to call it a class of container fluid. And let me name it icons, padding y2, py is a Bootstrap utility, and then py2 and px3. And now here within this, let me bring it here. Okay, and then I would like to have another division, and I want to assign it a class of raw, and then div, let me have a class, this would be the class of I want to have a column, display flex, and justify content between align items, baseline, and let me close it, bring it here, and I don't want it to, let me bring it here, and then this should be here. Okay, let's have a division, assign it a class of icons, and then I want to have a, within this division, I would like to go with the link href, and then I want to have another class, and margin x would be 2, and then I want to have a class of FB for the icons, FB Facebook. Now let me copy and paste it for a couple of times. So I'm just copying this one, and I want to paste it here and here. Here I want to change it with Twitter. So Twitter, and this would be a Instagram. Let's save it, move on to the browser. Okay, so we have a Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Now I want to have an let me have a header section, head tag, h6, and I'm not going to write any kind of address right now, but this should be for address or whatever you guys think, you can use it. lorem 3 for 3 words. Let's save it. And yeah, this is what we are going to have here. Okay, so after this, let me bring it here, and let's remove these extra spaces. And here, let's have a header element, and within this header, I want to assign it an ID of header, and then I want to have a navigation, so I want to have a nav ID, or sorry, the element of nav with an ID of nav bar, and I want to assign it a class. The class would be nav bar, then nav bar expand. It is for the responsiveness, and MD for medium devices. Now let's have another link of a class. Then let me have a nav bar brand and px2, then py, it's px padding from x-axis would be 2 and padding from y would be 0. And I would like to go with a link here, and this link is not going to do anything. And here, let me say construction. Okay, I want not one, only construction. So after this, I would like to go with the button element, and let me have a class of nav bar and toggler. Then I want to go with the background light, and the type of this would be button, and then data toggle class with collapse. Let me bring this here to make it visible within the screen. Okay, so collapse, and let me have a data target, not target, it's target, data target. And this would be, I would like to have an ID of nav bar and button. Now here, I want to go with something which would be div, assigning it a class, and this would be line 1. And let me copy and paste it for a couple of times. So copy. Okay, this would be 2 and this would be 3. Okay, now let me have another division, assigning it a class of collapse navbar, collapse, and then justify content, spelling of my justify, and here the spelling of navbar. I mistook here. Justify that, and then justify content between, and let me bring it here. There, I would like to assign an ID, and this ID would be this one. Okay, the data target ID. So this would be ID would be nav bar. Okay, And within this division, I would like to go with the unordered list and want to assign it a class of navbar, nav, and then max auto. And within this UL, I would like to go with, let me say, li class of, li nav item, and within this, let me have href, and I would like to assign it a class of nav link margin 2. The text would be capitalize, and nav active. I'll explain you this nav active. And here I would like to have a home button. And then again, let me copy the same li for several times. Okay, not several times, just let me remove this nav active class from here. And this would be nav item and link to and capitalize, and this would be about for the about section. And now let me copy this one and paste it for several times. 3, 4, 5. Okay, so home, about, and let me change this one. This would be projects, and this would be a services section, and this could be testimonial, and the next one I need another one which would be contact. And okay, I already copied it, let me put it here, and this would be the contact. Okay, let's save it. Let me show you what's going on here. Okay, we need to design it, color it, everything is going to be fine soon when we will go to the CSS section. So don't worry for now. We have the nav bar, the logo, and this top nav. Now here we need this search section. So for this, let's go back to the editor and let me bring it here. And here let's say form and class of form inline, margin left would be 3, and within this form element I would like to go with the division and class of input group. What this input group is, it will do, it will group this and this one. Okay, it will group them together. So for that I'm using this input group class. And then I want to have an input element. I want to name it, the type of this, it would be text type, and the class for this would be form control, and there should be a placeholder, and for this placeholder I want to have a search only. Okay, now let's have another division, and for this division I would like to use the class of input group append. I'm sorry, I mistook there. I use this here. Okay, input group and append. This append class, I'm so sorry, I mistook there. This one, it is going to append here, so this is the class we have used here. I thought that I haven't used this, that's why. Sorry for my words. Okay, then button. Let's have a button class, and this would be btn search btn, not tbn, search btn, and the type for this would be button. Here I would like to have a font awesome class. So for this I'm saying FASFA search, and then the text, I want this to be muted, and that's all. That's done. Okay. For this, now let's move on to the main.css. Here, let me show you that what we have done so far. We have our search bar and that append, this search icon, and all the elements what we have done there. We have that. Now we have to design it, style it, and for that we have to use the main.css. Here, first of all, I would like to go with the universal selector, and then after I want to say margin would be 0, and let me remove it and let's go again. Okay, margin, this would be 0, padding would be 0, and box sizing, I have to be careful. Box sizing would be border box. Let's save it, and then I want to go with the body selector, and first of all let me have this font family, and let's get this specifying CSS font from here, copy it, paste it within the body selector. Let me remove it now, we don't need that anymore. That's all. Okay, now first of all I would like to select this. Let me show you what I want to select. This here we had an icons class, so let me get this icons class. So for this, I would like to check something. Okay, it's okay. Here in the icon class, so sorry, let me get the icon selector, icons, and this would be there should be the background. For this background, only the background, and here I would like to go with 01012E. I can use the variables, but okay, let's go without variable then. Text decoration, already we didn't have this, but let me say none, and color would be this one, white, and then I want to go with it. Let's save it, let's move on to the browser. Okay, so we have the icons here. There is some problem within my browser, as I've told you guys before. So if you guys anything unnecessary, just ignore it, because it is because of the browser, not because of the code. You guys will not find anything. And if you guys need the code, let me know in the comments below. I'll surely provide you the code. Okay. And then I have to, we have done with the icons. Now let's use the icons link element and font size 25 pixels, and I want some transition. This will be color for 1 second, ease, and the color for this would be white. Then let me bring it here in the middle of the screen, and here icons and actually I'm trying to do it, I don't want to make any mistakes, so I have done with the font size. I have a checklist here, so I'm just checking the list, that what I have done and what I have to do. Now we have to use some hover effect. So for the icons class, icons link hover, and the color would be here, I don't know, but I just used light blue without any reason. You guys can use the good colors. I'm not using the good one. Okay, here let's go with the navigation bar now. Let's save it and let me show you that what we have done. Okay, so this and this happens, but I mistook here, something I have done wrong within my code. Let me check. Here I have to close the div. Okay, and this is in the other division, so it's not here, it's not in that part. I mistook in my markup, and yep, now it is okay. So it is organized. Here is the icons, and here I have the address. Whatever you want to write, you can go, but I just use this dummy text. And now we have to style our nav bar, main navigation bar actually. For that, let me say nav bar, and here, and then end of nav bar also, end of nav bar. This would be, and to avoid these mistakes, I'm trying to do it slowly, not to make mistakes. Now I want to get my navbar class, and then let's say background. Here I'm going to use the background will be 010155, and padding would be 10 pixels, and then 20 pixels, and that's all. Then I want to go with some transition here, and this will be padding 2 seconds, ease. Now here I want to go with the navbar brand class, and for this color, this would be the white one, and the font size, not what I'm writing, font size would be 35 pixels, and font weight bold let's save it. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so it's looking nice, better. Let me bring it here. Navbar brand, and then navbar brand. What I have done with navbar brand. Font weight bold. Now let's use some hover effect. So this would be navbar, and brand, and the hover class, navbar brand hover. It should be, the color would be white for me, and let's see. Okay, when I hover over it, I cannot see anything because the hover effect is also white. And just for the let me see, pink, just to check that if it is working or not. Okay, it is working. Okay, so when I hover over it, it is pink, but I don't want to use this. I don't want to use this pink color. I just want to go with the white one. It was just to show you guys that it is working. Now let's use the navbar toggler class. Navbar toggler class, and here I want to have a padding of 3 pixels. And then if you guys remember, here I have used these line classes, so let's use these line classes here. Let me check if I use the right numbers here. For that, let me see, dot class of line 1, comma, line 2, comma, and then line 3, and this would be line 3. In here, let me go with the width of 23 pixels. HVIGHT height would be 3 pixels, and then margins, margin would be 5 pixels, and background I want to go with black, and let me bring it here. Okay, then I want to have a transition effect. The transition would be all 0 seconds, not 0 seconds, sorry, 0.5 seconds, and ease, and then outline, this will be none, and let me have another navbar class, navbar toggler, and I should say outline, none, and I need to use the important flag. If I do not use this important flag here, then there would be a border type of thing appears on the navigation, on the bars. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. Okay, here. So here, if I do not use the, let me show you actually. Let me remove this important flag from here. Let's save it, and you guys can see when I hover, when I click or when I focus it, there is a outline. I don't know you guys can see or not, but there is a outline, and if you can see this, okay, it is not that what I want to show you. Okay, let me bring the focus, and I have to make it better. Okay, so there is this outline. I don't want this outline, so for this outline I am using this important flag, and now you guys cannot see when I click or focus over this bar. You guys cannot see, okay? It is not visible, so it is removed. Now let's use the navlink class here, and this should be here. Let me remove this space, and here we have to use the navlink class, and then I want to go with the color, and the color would be white here. And let me show you what I'm talking about. Now it's looking nice and beautiful. Now let's change the font size of these icons, these links, actually not icons, these links. And here let me say font size, this would be 25 pixels, and then padding, it would be 10 pixels, then 20 pixels. Let's save it, and there should be some border radius, which would be 5 pixels, and a transition with the background of 2 seconds ease. Save it, and here let's have another, let's have a hover effect over these nav links, and for that the background would be 01012E. Color for this would be white, and let's save it, and after this I'll show you something. Okay, so there is a nice effect when I hover over it. There is a background, and let me change the background color a little bit. It should be okay, just for you guys to show you that. Okay, and it's looking nice actually. It's okay, I'm using this one, but I want to keep this one, this home button, to be shown as active button. And if you guys remember, I have used an active class here with my in the home button, actually in this the first li, and I have used this nav active. Now let's use this nav active class here. So nav active, in this nav active hover, background, this would be 01012E. Actually not this one, let's go with this 1919D1, and let's save it. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, or let me use the same one, nav active hover class, and the background would be, I just want to see the difference of 01012E. Let's save it, and let's see what is not showing. Okay, so this is this one, and no, it is here I cannot see. I mistook somewhere. Let me find the mistake where I mistook. So the nav, okay, border radius. Let me check. You know what I mistook? I mistook here. I haven't used. Let me remove it actually. And after this, let's get the nav active class first. Okay, we didn't use it before, so nav active, and then color for this would be white, then font size 25 pixels again, and padding would be, yep, and then padding I would like to go with the 10 pixels and 20 pixels, and border radius, and here then border radius would be 5 pixels, background RGBA 1 and 46 and then 0.322, and then I want to go with the transition, background (2 seconds ease). Let's save it, and let me go back to the browser. Yep, now you can see that there is a it is not as visible as it has to be. Let me change the bit of a color. Okay, let's save it, and okay, now I think it is visible. If you guys want to see it more, let me change the color a little bit into this one. Okay, I don't know about I'm not sure about this color, but I'm just using it to make it visible for you guys, so you can see that this is the active button. Now we have to use that hover class here, the one I forgot. So now nav active hover, and here I just want to see background, and this background should be this one, not this one, or let's go with this one. So when I hover, yep, it is changing to this, and let's change it. Okay, just for use this one, save it. It's not visible actually. I don't know what I'm doing when I'm playing with these colors. It seems that I'm wasting the time, but I just wanted to make it visible to you guys, so you can see that now it is looking better than I think this one what I have prepared. Yep, so this one is looking better than that one. Okay, let's move on and let's create the hero image, this banner section. So for this, let's move back to the index.html, and here after this nav, let me remove this space. After this nav, let me have an element, not an element actually, let's go and say banner with the comments and end of banner. Banner and end of banner. let's go with the section element, and then after within this section element I want to have a division class of container fluid, and then let's go with another division, the class of raw, and just to see, I want to use this banner class in my CSS. So then let's say the class of column small 10, and heading, what I have done here, sorry, let me remove it because I was working on something else and that was just mixed up here. Let me write it again, okay? So let's go with the division and have a class of column called SM10, and then I want to go with the heading. Oops, I'm sorry. Okay, heading, and then here let's go with the heading 1 element, assigning it a class of, the class of this would be display. Okay, display 2, and text uppercase, and then within this section let me say construction. What's wrong with my spellings? Okay, it's construction. And then within the same division let's have a paragraph for the subtitle, the P element, and for this I want to use some dummy text. This would be 10 words or 8 words, okay? And then after, within the same division I want to have the links, and there should be 2 links. One should be a each ref, and I don't want to assign any value to this, so I'm saying class of bdn, then bdn main. I want to use this class in my CSS, bdn large LG, and then I used to say margin of 3 from all sides, and here I should say contact us, and then I want to go with another button. For this, let me copy this and paste it here, and I just want to change the text of this button. This should be no more, and the banner section is done here. Let's move on to the browser, and yep, we have a title and this subtitle and the links. Okay, so let's go to the CSS, to our style sheet, and okay, after this I just want to go with the let me see, banner section. And this banner section, and then end of banner, and after this, within these lines of code, within these lines of comments, I would like to use the banner class with the should be the height. What I'm doing here, height would be 100, view height, and then background would be linear gradient RGBA and 2.0, but because my image is too bright, so that's why I'm using this linear gradient, and 36, and then 0.3, and then again I want to have another RGBA. For this I just say 99121, and then 0.2, and then after I would like to say that let me have a comma and the URL. Okay, I want to bring it here to break the line. Let's see if it works or not. So the URL would be images, and in my images folder I do have a hero image, and let's see, let me have this one. Let's save it and let's check that if it is working or no. Not, so it's not working. Let's do something else. Save it. So what's wrong? What I have done, yep, I mistook here. 0.3. Okay, so we have our hero image with the title. Everything is very messy, we will fix it. Okay, and then let me bring it here because it is working. Yep, only there was a problem in here in my RGB, so it is working. And now let's set it for this. Let me see, justify content, and it would be center. Let me show you what it's going to do with the justify content. Before it was here, now it is here. And then I want to go with the alignment of the items. Align items, and this would be center. And yep, it is here. So align items center. Now let's get the heading class here, and for that heading, the text alignment for the heading would be center before the image. And I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm doing too much mistakes. Before we were setting this hero image, and now we are working on this title. And let's change the color. Color would be white. And white color would be white. Then let's go with the heading H1, and the font weight, here it is too big, so we have to change it, and here the font weight would be bold, and the font size The font size would be 38 pixels. What I'm doing here, bold and .38 pixels. Let's save it. Now it is looking nice. And then we have to work with the p tag, and let me have a class of heading and the paragraph, and for the paragraph would be font size. The font size should be 25 pixels. Let's save it. Let me check. Yep, this one. And now we have to work on these buttons. So for the buttons, we had the class of bdn main. So bdn dash main, and the background would be white, color blue, and border radius would be 10 pixels and 20 pixels. Okay, let's save it. So we have, you guys can see that this 10 and 20 pixels, it has a nice effect and nice shape. But let me change the color of this blue. This should be the color of my main theme, and the color of my main theme is this one. Let me get it from here. I should make the variables, and I have to use the variables, but in my next project I will try to use the variables. Okay, let's save it. And my browser has some problem, so we have that. We have the buttons here. Now let's style the buttons, and for that I want to use the button main class, and I want to say display inline block, and vertical alignment should be the middle. Then transform, oops, okay. And transform would be the perspective, and the perspective should be 1 pixels. Translate Z, and this Z translate would be 0. Then I want to go with some box shadow, and this box shadow would be 001 pixels, and RGBA 000 and 0. And then I want to go with some transition duration, duration. This would be 0.3 seconds. And now I want to go with some transition. What I'm doing here, transition property. Actually, I have to use transition property here. Transform, and then transform origin, and the transform origin transform property, transition property would be transform, and then transform origin would be 0 and 100%. Now let me bring it here in the middle of the screen so it will be easy for you guys to see. Now I want to use the button mean, and the button mean would have a hover effect. So this and not only here, but let me say BDN main focus for the mobile devices, and then dot BDN main, and this should be active, and here I didn't select the class. Now it's okay. So transform, I'm using this Q minus 10 degrees, and color would be this one, and font weight would be bold. Let's save it, move on to the browser, and it is looking nice. When I hover over the button, there is a nice skew effect, and the font gets bold effect, and the hero image, top nav, and the main nav is done now. So now let's check the responsiveness. If I click here, we have a toggle button, and our hero image with this Q buttons, this Q effect, and when I click over this toggle button, the menu appears, and it is looking nice. Let's move on, go back to the browser, and the problem I'm facing with my browser. Okay, let's go and create the About Us section. I'm sorry, it's our neighbor's dog. Okay, so let's move on to the index.html, and here let's remove it. So here let's say About Us section, and end of About Us section here. Oops, I need some space here, so okay. Let's start creating our About Us section by using the section element, and within the section element I want to go with the class of container, and then the duration, and here the class of about, margin bottom would be 4, and then div class, and this time I would like to say that raw, and text center. Margin from all sides would be 4, and another division, and with a class of column medium 12, and then text center, and then I would like to go with heading 6, and just want to say know us more. Okay, let's save it. And after this, let me have another element, h2, assigning it a class of margin bottom 4, and then I want to go with about us. I want to have an span element, assigning it a class. This time it would be title border, and let's close this span tag. I don't want to have anything here. This span tag is for this line. Okay, I want to create this line, so that's why I'm using that span. Now let's create this text and this 3 icons section. So for this span, now I would like to go with some lorem ipsum text. So paragraph, lorem 15 words would be enough for me. I would like to go with the 15 words. Okay, let's save and let me check if it would be too much or no. I think it's enough, the 15 words. And then let's create the single item after. Okay, it's done here. So now we have to create that icons, these icons and this section. So for this I just want to say, let me have a comment here and let's see, item section, and then end of item section, and within this let's start writing our markup. Div class of raw text center, and then another division, class of column large for and margin from y-axis would be 2, padding from y-axis would be 3, and let's have a font awesome icon class here. Let me have a glass of water. Okay, and here I want to go with the FA cubes and FA. I want it to be 3 times bigger than its actual size. So for that I'm using this FA 3x class, and then margin bottom would be 3. And that's all. Let's save it. Let me show that what we have done here in the browser. Okay, so we have these cubes, about us. We cannot see the line. We have to style it in our main.css. So we have done with something, at least we have done something. Now heading 5, and here I want to go with the class of padding 3, font weight bold, and I want to say pre-construction, and as usual my construction spellings, pre-construction services, and then I want to go with some dummy text and lorem 20. Let me go with some 20 words. Okay, why I'm breaking it? Because I want it to be within the screen, so that's why I'm breaking it in some parts. Now after this, div class center, okay, so lorem ipsum, end of part 1. Let's save it. Let me check. Okay, it is looking nice. Let's move back. End of item section. Let me check what I've done here. Let me have this space, remove this space here, and let's copy and paste it from here to here. Okay, and I want to copy this, and I have copied it and I want to paste it couples of times. So here, oh, let's save it. I think I mistook somewhere. Let me check actually. Oh no, it's okay, it's fine. So here in place of this, the second one, here in place of cubes, I just want to say edit, like FE edit, and the title for this would be design build. In place of this pre-construction services, let me see, design build, and then the third one, this should be here, should be in place of the cubes, this should be TH, and then construction services, not pre-construction services, only construction services. Move on, and yes, it is done. Not completely, but we have done so far. Now we need to style it. So for that we have to, let's go back to the main Dot Css, and let's remove this extra space actually, and here after this banner let's have some comments and about us section. Let me copy and paste it. Let's say end of about us. Remove this section and let's start styling it. And for that I'm going to use the about class, about h6, heading 6, and font size. The font size, I mistook here. Let me check it. Okay, 14 pixels, and the color I would like to go with my main color. Then I want to have an about class, and the title of that, title border. The content here, I don't want to use any kind of content here. For that I am just leaving it blank. I'm sorry for this doggy. Width is 30%, height would be 2 pixels, and display would be block, background, GROUN, background, also block, and then I want to have a background color, display block, background block, and the background color I want to go with 010112E, and then border radius, this time I want to go with 50%, and margin 1%, margin, and then margin left, it would be 35%. Let's save it, move on to the browser. Okay, so we have a line here. Now let's change the color of these icons here, and for that let me use the about.p class. So about, and a paragraph from this, and it would be the font size for this would be 18 pixels. Color would be the same, 01012E. Okay, for the paragraph. And now I want to change the icons, so I'm using the FES class, and the icon colors from here I want to say 0101, not this, 01012E. And for one of my icon I had the class of, let me check, and let me check here. Okay, oh gosh, here. Okay, so let me check. Okay, the color is changed and our about section is done. We have done it quickly actually. Let's check the responsiveness, and you guys can see that it is responsive. Okay, so let's move on and let's see the next section. Our next section is this project section, and for the projects section let's move on to the editor and move on to our index.html page. Let me remove this one, save it, and after the section element let me remove all these extra spaces. Here I want to go with the projects section, so project section, copy it, copy it, let's paste it, and let's say end of the project section, I need some room here. Let's go with the section element. And here I want to assign a class to this section element for the background, and I'm saying projects. Padding y should be py3. Div and a class of container. And division class of project. Here I just use a class of projects, and here it is project. And MB4 margin bottom 4. Text center and 4, and then division and class. I have to use column medium 12, and the text would be center. And then heading 2, class of margin bottom, I want to use MB4, and projects. That's all. Let's save it. Move on to the browser. Actually, it's not completed. I just want to clear something. I think I mistook somewhere, but until now, no, I haven't done any mistake. It is okay. Projects section, the title, heading is done. Now we have to use that span, that line, border line. So for that I'm using the span tag, and I'm assigning it a class of title border. Paragraph tag, assigning it a class of text light, because I'm going to use the background. So I'm using a Bootstrap text light class here, and with some text of 15 words, the dummy text. And okay, let me save it. Let's go back to the browser. Now let's start creating the cards. I'm not using the cards, Bootstrap cards here. I've already used in one of my projects. I'm just going to use some divisions to create that kind of cards, that images section. So here I'm just saying image overlay section. Okay, and here let me have a division. I want to assign it a class of raw text center, and then within this division I want to go with another division, assigning it a class of column large 4, margin from y-axis would be 2. Let me drink a glass of water, please. Okay, so margin from y-axis would be 2. Y means left and right, and then here division class and project container. This is what I want to use in my CSS, this project container class. And then I'm going to have a division class of image content, and within this, let me first bring it here. And within this image content class, I want to have an image source. Let me use it from here, img source and images. I want to use this commercial.jpg and an alt. I don't want to assign anything, but you guys should go with this. It is very helpful in SEO. And class of img fluid, and let me bring this class here, img fluid, and to make it to make it responsive, or image fluid to make it responsive. And then let me see, project img, this class I'm going to use in my CSS. Then after this division, I want to use the div and assigning it a class of content, and then here I want to go with heading 3, assigning it a class of text uppercase. It's a Bootstrap class, and then text center, and then text dark. Again, I'm using Bootstrap classes. Let me bring it here. Okay, and padding from top and bottom would be 3, and within this I want to see commercial, only commercial. Okay, now I want to have a paragraph p element. I want to assign it a class of text dark, and I want to go with some text, and here let me go with some 20 words of dummy text. Why I'm doing this, I'll show you guys that what's going on here, and I'm talking about what. Let's save it. Let's move on. Okay, so we have a card here. We cannot see this text and this. I want, when I hover over the card or this image, there should be a text. The text should appear like this. But if I don't hover over it, you guys can see that there is a kind of a title. Okay, this title, and when I hover over it, it gives some sort of details. So this is the text I'm using here. I'm trying to get that text here of these dummy words. Okay, so it is done. Okay, until now. Let me see, end of yep, it is end of img overlay. Okay, let's save it. First of all, let me use some styles here. Then we can add the 2 more cards or the 2 more images. Okay, so for that, let me have that. Let me have this project section here, and for that I should have the comments, and it's a project section, and then let me copy and paste it here. End of, it should be end of project section. And now here let's start styling our project section. So for that, first of all, I would like to get the projects class. Remember the project class we have assigned in the main section. And here let's go with the background, and this should be the main theme of mine, the main theme color of mine. And here not that, actually this is what we have. Okay, so this is a project section and it has a nice background. Now after this, let's change the text color because the background is dark. So for that, let me use the text color and change this text color. It should be white. And here I am, what I'm going to do. Okay, so you can see it's working well and it's looking nice. For the border title, that line, I just want to copy this code. I want to paste it there, and then I'll change the class name only. So here in place of this about, it is projects. Yep, let's save it, and the line color, it should be white. Wow, it's looking nice. We have this one. Okay, beautiful. Now what's next? Main container. So now I have to use the class of main container, which was this is the project container image content, and I have used this main container class. Okay, let's use the container class here, and for that, let's say main container, and margin, this margin should be -2 pixels, and then I have to go with the project container class. Yeah, I want to say position actually, and the position would be relative, and the width for this would be 300 pixels, and height would be 400 pixels, and then background would be black, and then box shadow would be 10 pixels, then again 10 pixels, and then RGBA 7 4 189 and 0.8, and then I want to have a cursor, pointer, and this will give it a what we can see, nice shadow or 3D effect. Actually, I don't need this main container because I haven't used this main container class anywhere, so it's my mistake actually. I was just trying to remember that where I have used that class, and I haven't used that, so I'm sorry for that. It was by mistake. And then now let's use the project container. Actually, I just use a project container class, and it's project container class with img image container, image content, and then position, position absolute, and the top would be 0, left 0 again, width would be 100%, and then height would be 100%, HEIGHT, height would be 100%. Okay, and then I want to go with the margin bottom, and margin bottom would be, I think I made a mistake somewhere. Margin bottom would be 10 pixels. Let's save it. Let me show you. Okay, this is the effect I was talking about, that it gives a 3D effect to this kind of card. And now we have to, the background I have used here black, but now what I have done with the project container and image content section. Okay, now we have to get the class of, again, project container and image content dot image. So this would be project container, and then image content. So image content, it's a class, and then image img, okay, selector. I want to go with the position of absolute here, and it is going to hide the card body. And then I want to use the top 0, and left would be 0, and then width would be 100%, and then height, height would be also this 100%, and then transition would be 0.5 seconds. Let's save it, and let me bring it in the middle here. Okay. Now let's use the, let me show you what's going on here. Okay, so when I'm hovering over it, I cannot see any effect. There isn't any title, this title. So for that, let's go and check, style those things. For now, project class with a project container and hover, and then I want to go with img and content, and then again img, and here I want to go with opacity of 0. Then let's go with the project container class, and then with the content class, let's see, position absolute, and left would be 10%, width would be 80%, height would be 60 pixels, and a background for this, I would like to go with the white one, Okay, spelling of my background. And now I don't want any kind of overflow, it would be hidden. And then let's go for the padding, and the padding would be 15 pixels. Okay, let me bring it in the middle and here. Let's have a project container content hover, and then project container hover, and then dot content. What I'm doing here actually, let me check. 15 pixels, and then for project container, and then content, not hover. I'm sorry for this. Okay, the width would be 100 pixels. Percent, sorry, not pixels. Height also 100%, and then bottom would be 0. Oops. And left will be 0. Let's save it. Let me bring it here. Okay. And here again, project. Oops. Project. I have a class of this, so I'm using project container. Project container. Then content class. Oops. Content project container content each heading 3 h3, and this time I would like to go with the font size of 20 pixels. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm having too much typing mistakes nowadays. All you guys, I think, feel the same what I'm feeling. And then project container. This part is too long actually. It's irritating me while recording, but when I was working on it, I've been through some difficult times. I was trying to set it. Margin 10 pixels, 0 and 0, and now I want to go with opacity. Opacity would be 0, and the line height would be 1. Let me check. Actually, I mistook here in the line height. So it would be 19 pixels, or 18 pixels would be okay. 18 pixels for that. Yep. And now I want to go with the transition. So the transition would be 0.5 seconds. And text align could be justify. And now again, I want to get this project container hover, and then content dot content p paragraph element. The opacity for this would be 1, and transition delay 0.4 seconds. I'll explain you what is this and what I'm doing here. Let's save it and let's see what we have done here. Then it will be easy for you guys to see. Okay. So I'm just hovering over it and I'm just seeing this card, but I don't want to. This should be an image. I mistook somewhere. Let's check where I missed. I mistook here. I have to use the hover class, the hover, actually the hover here. I haven't used this, so that's why I was getting that. And now if when I hover over it, and after the delay of 4 seconds, I can get the text. The text is too little. Here I have used too much text, and here it's very little. So you guys can increase it according to your needs. Now let's add the other cards here, and for those other cards, I just want to copy and paste it. I don't want to write it, because if I start writing it, it would be too much for me, I think. For that, from this code, actually here, let me copy it, and let's say I'm not going to write any kind of comments here. Let's save it, move on to the browser, and let's see that. Okay, we'll change the title and the image, and then I want to after this, let me have another, just a separator, save it, and let's see what I have done. Okay, so let's go back to the second image of mine. Here is the first one, commercial, and commercial. So this should be the educational. I've just saved it in my images, and this would be educational, and then here it should be healthcare or hospital, and here I want to say healthcare. Okay, let's save it, move on to the browser, and here we go. So when I hover over it, there is a overlay effect with some text. The text is too little, but it's okay. So, and it is responsive. Let's move on to the responsiveness of this, and you guys can see that it is responsive. Okay, so in our next section we will start this services section, and then this testimonial and contact us section. So I would like to have some break, then after we'll start this. Okay, I'll see you after the break.